All right, so verses 1, 2, and 3. As Jesus and the disciples left the temple, they were pointing at it. Mark says they were talking about how wonderful the stones and buildings were. That's chapter 13, verse 1. They were admiring the beautiful stones and dedicated gifts. That's Luke 21 and 5. In each gospel account, Jesus responds by telling them the stones will be torn down. This is Matthew 24 and 2. This is Mark 13 and 2. This is Luke 21 and 6. Now, when I say all the accounts, really, I just mean these three. John doesn't have an account of the discourse. And I think personally it's because John receives the revelation of that discourse. Because of Jesus's response, this is why they ask him, when will these things happen? The sign of your coming and of the end of the age. That's Matthew 24 and 3. Their question is in response to what he said. And what he said was about the temple. They were not asking about the end of the world. If they were, we would have seen the word cosmos. This particular coming, or parousia, would bring down the temple and mark the end of the temple worship age. Mark says they asked when the sign of these things would be fulfilled. That's Mark 13 and 4. Luke said they wanted to know when it would take place. That's Luke 21 and 7. Now let's read it all together in context. And coming out from the temple, Jesus was going along, and his disciples came up to point out the temple buildings to him. And he answered and said to them, do you not see all these things? Truly I say to you, not one stone here will be left upon another which will not be torn down. Now as he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, when will these things happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? Now, some folks want to divide this up into three different questions, but I'd argue that it's just one. And so in the next video, let's see how Jesus answers this one question.